Right, we're back. You watched us put the base in on Friday, I think it was. Was it Friday? Friday, yeah. If you're going to leave a comment, then please watch the video fully before you leave a comment. It was a bit of fun. We don't rush around like that always. Not to that extent anyway, but it was a bit of fun. So, today we're going to put the walls up and hopefully try and get some of the roof on as well. John is going round now. The polyurethane glue has obviously gone off over the weekend. It's rained quite a lot, but like I said before, Aga Protect, it's not a problem. He's scraping off the glue where it's seeped up through the joints, which is always the case, which means we've had plenty enough glue on it anyway, so it's a good thing. You could actually use a shovel, which would save you back. Jen, right, so we're going to build the back wall first, so you can see Jen's hooked a tape on there. Can you see, Davey? She is going 400 centres. Now, the base was 400 spaces for the economics of the insulation. The wall will be 400 centres because the sheets, the OSB, balls. The OSBs come at 4 foot again. Sometimes, David, just have a look. Sometimes it comes metric, sometimes it comes imperial. It's come at 4 foot. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to rip a little bit off them sheets. But the plasterboards are 1.2 wide, so we've got 400 centres, so you've got 0, 4, 8, 12, and that will be the joints of your boards. So obviously they're going to have to be ripped down to size because they're the wrong size. But Jen has marked these up now. You can see there we're extending this wall because the timber comes at 4.8. It doesn't come longer than that, so we've extended the wall. So what she'll do now, she's hooked the tape on there, so she'll make sure that the 400 centres are carried on through, even though we've got a joint on the wall. And what we'll do, we'll build these 2 frames, and then we'll join the wall together, and then we'll stand it up. You want to get this floor cleared off first, Jen?
Yeah, I'm just going to move.
Right, the guns we're going to use today. It's not quite that time of year where the gas freezes up, but we will predominantly be using the Pazloads 350 plus. But we will also be using the Milwaukee First Fix gun. Never misses a beat, fires in all weather, and it's gasless, of course, but weighs considerably more than that gun. So that's the guns we'll be using. Davey and Jen will be fixing. No, maybe yeah, Davey and Jen will be fixing. Jen is taking lead today because John's nipping off. And I'm going to cut. Jen, you ready? Yeah, you know what you're doing? Right, safety glasses must be what? Are you what are you doing? Why's your film? Are you filming or not filming?
No, yeah.
Why's your film drifting over there?
It's not on camera.
No, but what were you going to do with your thumb then?
I thought you were going to stop.
Oh, right, we've cut our internal studs already. Are these cut, Brandon?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, they're cut. We've set the sorted length. So what will happen is you just sit it on there nice and gently, and then that will cut it to length. They will be the uprights for the wall. These will get saved because they will be the noggins for the wall as well. Right, so Brandon is cutting the timbers, the studs, and Davey and Jen are going to go down and fix them. Of course, they're using the Pazloads. They're using 90mm nails in them. Let me get you a strip out. It's all right, Jen, carry on. Carry on. They're using the 90mm nails. We use a Viper brand simply because it's the brand that the timber company that supplies us use. So no other reason apart from that, although I certainly wouldn't be using Pazload nails at their price.
Go on.
Right, so once they've got this frame together, they'll slide it out of the way, get this smaller frame made, and then attach it to that, which will then give us our full length of our wall. But what we want to do then is stop the wall from kinking in the middle. So when we put our OSB on, we'll make sure that a full sheet spans the joint, rather than just, if the end of the sheet's there and the new sheet starts there, then you've got a chance of the wall buckling. So we'll use the OSB to strengthen the wall as well. They've built the wall now, so if you look like this, let's exaggerate this, right? And let's say the wall is sat like a rhomboid at the moment, but obviously we want the wall square like that. So because our floor is level, when we put that wall up square and it's sat level on the floor, that means that the wall will be plumb that way, John. So, because the floor is level, when we make the wall square, when we stand it up, it will be level that way rather than being rhomboid, because we're going to use the OSB now to make it square. So I've cut this first sheet down to 1.2 because it's an imperial size and it's come at 4 foot. So what we're going to do is we'll start this corner first. Jen's going to get the bottom right on there. Just push up to me a little touch. And once I've got my corner dead on there, then she's Yeah, are you right there?
Yeah.
Go on then. She's going to nail that side up there so it's in line with the OSB. And then it's actually fallen pretty square, but let's exaggerate it a little bit. So you can see there now, the board is square, it's manufactured as a square. So you can see the wall isn't running square there now. So what I want to do is just tap that so it's dead flush there. Fix along there. And then we can then go on and continue to fix that board. And when we do that with all the boards, using the squareness of the board to square the wall, it will mean the wall is perfectly plumb when we stand it up. You can see there as well, I put a line there, that's so that we can see where the timber is on the bottom, because what we don't want to happen, if John has a look under there, can you look under from that end, John? What we don't want is any nails sticking out which will lift the wall off the floor. I've left that long because what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip it down with the saw, but what we will do is leave 4 inches on there so that it will cloak over the side of the building just there. Right, so what I've done there, I've ripped down the board to 800 because there is the joint in the wall and we don't want the board joint to fall on that, which it would have done if I hadn't ripped it down. But now what will happen now is a full board will span that joint and help strengthen the joint in the wall there. Right, what she's going to do now, she's going to rip down the board so that there's 4 inches hanging over the back side of the wall, which will cloak these 4x3. Jen dyed her hair. If she never looked like Slash before, she does now. Yeah. Right, she's now covering the wall with a breathable membrane. It's a roofing membrane. It prevents any moisture from entering this way in, but it lets the building breathe that way. We're just going to staple that on, and then what we're going to do then, we are going to put these resilient bars, which are from drywalling, but we use them on the back of the building now so that we can rivet our steel sheets to the back of the building, which provides a neater finish than the little colour-coded screw heads. Right, what she's doing now is she's going to fix the resilient bar to that OSB. Davey's holding his tape on there because she's going to mark every 400 so that she knows that she's fixing to a timber rather than just going straight through the OSB, because of course these resilient bars then will hold the tin metal to the back wall when we rivet it on. It provides a lot neater finish. Just using a spacer block there because what we want them dead level. So obviously it's laid down, you can't use a level. But if we use the spacer, when the wall goes up, they will be level because we know the floor is level. And then when we cut our metal cladding, when we drill it for riveting, it will be all level, and we can use a jig then, just like a length of timber marked up, so we know where to cut.
Good.
Right, so the back wall is built. If you follow the build pack, I advise you to build the frame and then OSB it afterwards, obviously, because if you're building it on your own, it's a lot easier. This is quite a heavy wall. What we've done, we've positioned it so if David looks there, the OSB will drop down and the wall won't fall off the back of the building. If it does, it won't be the end of the world, but we don't want it to. We want the OSB to sit there and then the wall to sit there. So we will try and lift it up now. And that's gone up pretty well. Don't nobody pull it, just let me push it. Yeah. You good? Yeah. Right, so the wall is where it wants to be. Jen, hold the wall, please. Thanks. David, if you look there, can you see the OSB is touching the back of the building? Is it touching the 22mm flooring? Right, so what he's done now, he's kicked that in. I am now going to look for the bit.
Yeah, I've got one on my belt.
Right. On your utility belt, sports utility. Right, hold that wall, yeah? Right, so what I'm going to do, we know the ends are right because they're touching the thing. I'm just going to put a screw in there and a screw in this end, and then if Davey gets right down, looks down the length of the timber, Davey, is there a kick in it? Hold the wall, John, yeah, Jen, yeah? Right. It's pretty straight, that, isn't it, Davey? Yeah, so we're happy with that. It's straight enough at that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go down and I'm going to get a screw in each bay just to hold the wall, and then somebody will jump on the nail gun with a 90 nail and follow me down. You can probably let go of that now. So because the floor is level and because we've used OSB to square the walls, then that means that this wall is plumb that way. All we need to do now is get it to go that way. But when we put these side walls up, same thing again, floor is level, wall is square, it will tie onto there and then that will hold that plumb. But what we will need to do then is address the centre, and we'll put some props in and get that nice and plumb in the centre as well. So they're going down with the nail guns now. They're going to nail it. I need to get ahead of them though, because what I want to do is make sure that each bay is pulled down to the floor with a screw. Right, so I screwed it down simply to pull it down to the floor and then they've nailed it. The reason why we don't screw it fully is because screws and nails, a screw will snap like that and then your nail, you'll have to bend it until it does snap. So obviously the nail is a lot better because obviously that snaps under pressure. Right, so we're going to have a look at this now. That's the wall up. It should be racked and plumb that way. We will have to prop it that way, but for now that's not going nowhere. We can work safely under that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to build the side walls. What we will do, we'll let the OSB hang over 90mm so that when it slides on there it can fix to that and it will be covered. So that's the side walls we're going to do now, and I'll show you them going up as well. Right, they've built this wall. This particular building is getting clad in cedar. I've just realised that there's a door going inside here, Jen.
Oh, for Christ.
Not to worry. So we'll cut that out afterwards. So they've overlapped the OSB there, and what will happen when that goes on there, the breathable membrane from the back of the wall will wrap around there and staple, and then we'll put horizontal battens on there, obviously when I've cut out for the door. So we're going to get this up and it should slide into place if Jen has built it correctly while I've been away. Right, you ready? Yeah. That should now just slide up. Yeah. Right, and that'll all get fixed and pinned into place now. Don't fix the centre, Jen, because I've got to cut a door. Come and do this corner for me. Is it kicked down far enough? Yeah. Is it kicked at back wall at bottom? Yeah. Right, get a screw in there. Right, Jen, get a screw in this top to tie this top in. Is it in together, Davey? Yeah? So what will happen then, what we'll do, we'll wrap that membrane around there like that, cut that excess off and trim that, so that's fully sealed there as well. And then we'll run some horizontal battens across. Once I've cut out for this door, which I have forgotten to put in, that's all right there, get a screw in there. Do exactly the same with this wall now as well. That wall is having a window in, but we tend to cut them out afterwards anyway, once customers decided where he wants it. So we're going to slate batten that and stand it up, and then we'll crack on with front wall and we'll show you how that's going to happen. We'll show you what's going to happen with that as well. So what she's doing now, she's lining the slate batten up. She can see the nails, so that's where the timber is in the wall. So she's going to line the slate battens up to them. Put a nail at the top, and then David will go down at the bottom and he'll just look under and locate where the nails are as well, and then he'll fix them. But obviously he's going to fix about 7 inches up so that he doesn't stick a nail through the bottom of the OSB, which will then keep the wall off. And then once they've done that, they'll just go down and nail them all, and that wall's ready to go up then. Right, what they're doing now, they're building the front walls. Obviously it's laid down, but that little recess there is where the steel will sit. So we've left a 300 gap there so that we can get in and tech screw it to the underside of the timber basically. They will mirror the walls, so there'll be one there, that like that, one there like that. We'll string them through so they're dead straight, and then we'll cut the steel and the steel will go on there. Right, so the front walls are up, they're actually fixed just at one point down there, and they're fixed to the side wall. Oh, hold on, where am I? They're fixed to the side wall there as well, so that they're actually plumb that way. What we're going to do now, we're going to run a string line across the front so we get them dead in line with each other, because when we put that steel across at the top, obviously the steel is dead straight, so the bottom needs to be dead straight, otherwise we'll have one leg kicked against the other, which obviously we don't want. So you can see the little recesses there, little drop downs. Take my finger off there because it keeps... Take the little the recessy drop downs there, because that's where the steel will sit. Davey's now cut the steel. Steel is it's 160 by 80 by 5 mil. It's relatively heavy. So what Jen's done now, she's put some blocks on there to stop the steel from rolling forward into the garden, so we're safe. This is where Davey's panicking now to see if he's cut it right length. He has, lovely. Right, so the steel in there now will take the weight of the roof. Obviously these double timbers here take the weight of the steel and the roof bearing down on them as well. There's a lot of weight on that roof, especially when it snows. You've got your weight load in there as well. So that will stop any deflection on top of your door. So what will happen now, they'll get some, David, I think them tech screws, have you got them out? They're going to put some roofing screws through there, which will support that, fix that to that, tie it all in, and then we're going to put some CLS on the back of there as well, so we can put our joist hangers on, which will tie our roof beams onto there as well. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to fix the steel to the timber with these tech screws. They're 110 mil and they're self-drilling, so they'll drill in there themselves. What she's going to do, she's going to fix that through there. Am I in your way?
No, it's fine. Stop it!
That's Jen's screwing face. So we've put a 4x2, we've texed that to the steel as well, and we've ripped another one down as well. So we've got timber on the steel there now, so when we put our roofing joists on, we can stick our upside down joist hangers on and nail it to there, which will strap the roof down to that. I'm fully aware you can use truss clips and stuff like that, but we have joist hangers on site, so that is what we use. John's going to always be the front of the building now. Me and Jen are going to start on the roof. We've determined our overhang. You can see the pitch there. We tend to be 75 mil higher at the front, so 25 mil for every 1 metre. I'll crown the timber, which basically means have a look at it and see if there's like a hump in it, and if the hump is a crown in it, the crown will go to the top. Right, I've had to nip off, so I've not been able to do a full roof video. It's one of the hardest things to show you as well. The roof itself is pretty simple, but it's just hard to get the angles and show you here. The side wall basically has got infills in, so the side wall is then tied to the roof, and then these rows of noggins ties everything else together as well. We've also got little noggins there which carry the side trimmer. That will get insulation in, it'll get rock wool in. What we'll do, we'll put the boards on tomorrow and then we'll rock wool underneath there. You can see we've just notched the top of them noggins off there on them lines. The reason for that is so that we can run the cables, so the cables will just run down inside there. So it's pretty straightforward. If David just pans across, you can see it's just basically a framework, isn't it, you know, and all noggined in and tied in. You can see the upside down joist hangers there. Like I said before, you can use truss clips if you want, but we have joist hangers on site, so that's what we use. That then ties the roof down. It's completely strapped down. If you look at your right hand foot there, Davey, you can see where Jen spiked the roof timbers into the wall, because obviously you don't want to get no wind uplift, which will completely rip your roof off. So it needs to be well tied down. So tomorrow now we will get the roof boarded, hopefully if it doesn't rain, get it sanded, and we'll get the fascia and soffit on, and I'll try and do a bit more detailed video for you tomorrow. Like I say, I had to nip off, so I've not been able to complete this one. Okay, so please like and subscribe, and the camper van video, the camper van progress will get updated at some point this week as well. Thank you.